Hello everybody, this is Dimitri from the website Cryptoparadise Consulting. Today I want to talk about the Cantillon effect. It's a term you find here and there on the internet regarding the monetary and economic system we're living in right now, and especially regarding the effect that is directly linked to the printing of infinite amounts of money from central banks since this coronavirus crisis, and we can go back to 2008 crisis, of course. So one of the effect of these monetary printing from central banks, as we know it, is the fact, first of all, to rig all markets, especially bond markets, stock markets, where by coming in with infinite amount of money, central banks are completely disrupting the game and not allowing for a price discovery that is normally discovered by the regular market forces, which are demand and offer, bid and offer, where when you have a player like central bank which comes in with infinite amount of money, of course, the price discovery system is completely rigged. As anybody can easily understand, if a central bank is there to buy at any cost with printed money, basically it can decide at any time of the price of any asset. And this explains, of course, the asset inflation we all observe since now many years, and especially since the 2008 crisis. Today, so that's one part of the effect of the intervention of central banks. But one other effect which I want to talk about is the Cantillon effect, which is a very interesting and also very disturbing effect that we can also observe as a consequence of central bank money printing. So Cantillon is the name of this effect because it's the name of a guy who lived in the beginning of 18th century, end of 17th century, a guy named Richard Cantillon, who was a Franco-Irish guy who, to make it very short, was an economist and was participated in the John Law era, when John Law in France was probably one of the first crazy money printer we have in monetary history. So what is exactly this Cantillon effect? For those who are familiar with the Kaiser report, with Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert presenting it on RT almost every day, they talk a lot about this effect. So I wanted today to take the opportunity just to explain it in a very simple way. So and to do that, I will take a very concrete example. So before that, I'm going to explain what the effect in general is. Cantillon effect is just the effect by which when central bank are printing money and giving it to, let's say, their close friends, we can call them that way, which are whoever they are, the big corporations, the big banks, the too big to fail. Those who cash the money first have an immense privilege compared to the ones that are at the end of the pyramid. Because by the time the first one catch this money is still not really in the market for everybody, which means that the inflation mechanism has not still occurred. which is quite understandable because you just got the money. So for those who got the money first, they have access to assets at still a very low price. Let's say at the price that existed before the money was printed. Now, the more you wait, the more time goes by, and the more the money goes into the market by the different perpetrators who might use this money and at different levels, the more assets will start to inflate. And when you arrive at the end of the pyramid, the last person who sees the money, it's already much too late, because already all assets are now doubled or tripled. So that's the Cantillon effect. What I wanted to do today is to explain it in a very simple manner, in a way that anyone can easily understand this effect. And to do that, I'm going to take as an example the game that everyone knows, which is Monopoly. When we all play Monopoly, let's take an example. We are 4 players around the table, A, B, C, and D. We usually start with 1,500 units, whatever it is, dollars, call them what you want. 1,500 units of this Monopoly money is given to every player. So once we have this first round where, so the game is even at the beginning, of course, and then depending on luck and ability to play well or not well, there comes a point where all the streets are sold and there is no more street to buy from the bank, and that is the typical moment when we have this the game changes and there is it's time to resell among players the streets that you might be interested in, and you sell them at any agreed price among participants. So if, for example, you have the one green street missing or one orange street missing, you're gonna turn around to other players and try to buy it back from them at any agreed price among you. So imagine that at that moment, okay, we all know that we started the game with 1,500, so that it means that we have altogether in the game, during the first round, we started all with 6,000 monetary unit, 1,500 times 4. Now imagine that at that moment when we start to exchange those streets we might be interested in, let's say player A gets, discreetly from the bank, 20,000 money, just given to him. What do you think will happen? If B has, let's say, the green street that A is interested in, and C and D are also interested in the green street, which was sold, maybe that B bought maybe, let's say, 300. Well, maybe C and D would be ready to pay 350, maybe 400 max. Now A comes in with his 20,000 and he bids 500. So of course B will sell to A his green street, and so on. A will just buy whatever he wants. Okay, now he has his assets that he bought at a much higher price that anybody would have agreed to buy, but he can. He just had this free 20,000 money. Now, the effect is exactly there. You understand that now B has sold some of his streets and has now more money also. So when C now starts to sell, now the assets are already a little more expensive. Maybe C is now going to sell directly 500, and B will have to bid probably 550 to get it. And when it comes to C, and I don't need to go further, I think you all got the point, is that by the time it goes to the end of the pyramid, which is D, of course all asset prices are completely higher. And D is completely rigged fucked, excuse me the word, because he's now facing increased value assets and he doesn't have the money to pay for them. That's a way to understand, I think, very easily what the Cantillon effect is. So that's it for this today video. Thank you for watching. Don't hesitate to subscribe directly on my website, cryptoparadise.consulting, or simply go to my YouTube channel where you can also directly subscribe. Thanks for watching.